Hello, everybody! Welcome to another Sunday Funday, and I told you we were going to get to it. Yeah, we are here to finally talk about My Spy.
What is he doing? This looks like the wedding at the end of Shrek.
We have been talking about the actual issues that have been going on to try to get this movie released. Not because it was super important to me, I didn't care. Megan was probably the one who was bigger about wanting to see it. Not that I ever thought this was going to be bad, I just thought it was going to be
It looked funny. I mean, I was kind of dreading that all the funny bits were in the trailer, but...
To be fair, that kind of is a given for, like, anything that is, like, these modern, like, for lack of a better way to put it, like, family films. There's not been a lot of really good ones.
Or not even family films, but anything with comedic elements like teen comedies, family comedies, raunchy adult comedies. You know, like, sometimes, like, they'll put what few funny bits there are smack dab in the trailer.
Yeah. And if it's a Red Band trailer, it's got to show all the fucks in the world. Not that I am one who is against the word fuck, obviously. But it's one knows that it's just, after a while, it gets almost like, alright, you're just saying fucks for fuck's sake.
I was like, what are we, 12 years old?
Yeah, I'm a daddy. So, since we're here to obviously talk about My Spy some more, I am actually going to let the one who has had the most, like, actual, like, worrying, when is it coming out, in terms of investment and all that, let Megan.
Yeah, this has been pissing me off, the fact he's getting pushed back. Especially for shittier movies like The Hustle. Or Hustlers, or whatever.
Hustlers. The Hustle still was not a good movie either. That's that one with Anne Hathaway, but it wasn't pushed because of that. It's pushed because, you know, we got...
Strippers!
Titties! It's very much like the Iowa War Memorial for Civil War soldiers. It's all about the titties. Oh, so what did you think of My Spy, though?
Thankfully, the funny bits were not all in the trailer.
Yeah, that's the thing that Dave Bautista's always actually been able to figure out. He's actually been able to parse himself well between being funny and also being action here, for lack of a better way to put it. And sometimes it doesn't...
And also having some heartfelt moments in between.
Yeah. If the big... He is no... what's the one wrestler I was just thinking of? Who's trying to be... He's no Hulk Hogan, definitely. He's much better than Hulk Hogan is. John Cena could learn a thing or two, I believe. John Cena always has a bit of that... He's getting better, don't get us wrong. Like,
yeah, he was funny in Blockers.
Yeah, and he was a lot better, much more able to be watched in Bumblebee than he was in, say, The Marine. But John Cena still needs a little bit more time in the sun. Of course, he's not quite yet Dwayne Johnson levels. You know? But, that's a tough pill, or tough, you know...
Tough act to follow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I actually do agree. It is funny. This is actually a funny film. If there is a negative, if I'm going to talk about negatives, it's not a wholly original film.
Yeah, I was seeing like elements of The Pacifier and Kindergarten Cop. But I think it worked. It was funny and charming and surprisingly the little girl not really annoying.
Yeah.
At least she didn't get on my nerves. I don't know about you.
She didn't get on my nerves a ton. I think there almost could have been actually a little bit more like the actual... Long story short, to kind of explain the actual story of this, is that there is this plans to make a miniature nuke, even though if you actually look into actual how miniature nukes work, they don't have the same yield as that of an actual nuclear weapon. Not going to get into that. This is just somebody who was like, fuck it, here's something, a mini nuke, I guess. I'm the guy who worries about the small details.
Nerd.
But yeah, the CIA is trying to find the plans for it and also stops this one guy. And they end up sending JJ, who's Dave Bautista. They send him and this one girl. I think she used to be on. She's done a lot of little comedy.
Yeah, Kristen Shaw.
Yeah.
Pronounce her name.
And if again a little negative is her, I'm gonna get into her in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So send JJ and her name was Bonnie.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. Bonnie. Bobby. Who cares? Call her Poppy. How about that? But yeah, so Bobby and JJ are sent on this one mission to pretty much just watch a little girl and ends up, or a little girl and her mother, and shenanigans is the best way to put it. Those who have watched any other movies, Stakeout as well comes to mind, even though Stakeout's not meant for kids, but it does bear quite a bit to Stakeout in terms of getting very personally involved in a thing where you probably shouldn't be. Kindergarten Cop is also a really good one to compare it to. The Pacifier in certain regards, and the fact of how he does build a relationship with the kids. At this point, just one kid. But I actually preferred that a little bit more here. That was just one kid.
Yeah.
Oh, what was her name? I can't even think of her name now. It's bugging me. The little girl.
Oh, it was, I can't think of it either.
Oh, female lead. I got mine right here.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, you're gonna look it up and say it's like...
Yeah,
I was like, that's it.
Not that she...
I can't even remember her name. Why is... We just watched this. What the hell?
Sophie.
Sophie. Yes.
Yeah, the only reason I think is just because they don't say her name a ton. They say JJ's name a lot.
Yeah, JJ and Bobby.
Yeah. So, again, like I said, with the negatives, there's the one, it's not wholly original. Not that that's actually a killer for me with any film, but just throwing it out there for people who might be wondering, it's like, well, is this something super new? No, not really.
It's not really groundbreaking, but...
No, but a movie doesn't always have to be,
Yeah.
I believe. If it does what it aims to do very well, I'm able to easily overlook that. But, like I said, the biggest issue always that kept bothering me was Bobby. I get it that particular actress, again, you've said her name, and I'm
Kristen
pretty sure
Shaw.
I have it here. Yeah, Kristen Shaw. Yeah, her thing is that, like, kind of...
Awkward.
Yeah, that's not my sense of humor, guys. That gets my seal of disapproval. She's been putting up with this all day. How she has not slugged me in the nuts with a baseball bat, I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have access to a baseball bat, so...
I think I got one in my closet.
Don't give me ideas.
But yeah, she's awkward a lot of times. There's a lot of... Hey, it's funny because it's awkward. It's just not as funny as it really should be.
Yeah, there are times when it does work. It's actually like, yeah, that's funny.
But there's a lot of times with her...
Where it's like, oh my god, just let it go.
Yeah. And yeah, if I can say, like, at one point, of course, JJ is pretty much conned into training Sophie on how to be a secret agent. It's actually kind of cute. There is some legitimately kind of funny things they have together. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more of that, but yeah, it is what it is. I've seen a lot worse.
And also a bit of a romance with the mom.
Because again, it is a wee bit on the predictable side.
Yeah. Although I honestly originally thought that he was going to end up with Bobby.
Yeah.
By the end of it all, but then like Sophie's like pushing him towards the mom's like, oh, okay, so this is where we're like, okay, this works much better, I think, as far as like the romance plotting.
Yeah, and also it kind of ends up making more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say a lot really negative really about the film. I'm not trying to say that I should be able to say negative about it, but where it's funny, where it's meant to be funny, for the most part, I would say like 95% of the time, it is legitimately actually funny. It's got some fairly good laughs out of me. There was very few times I felt myself rolling my eyes at it, which is so thankful for me with so many comedies. Yeah, like I said, you cannot imagine comparing this to Bulletproof 2. There was a lot of times Bulletproof 2 was me. I can't roll my eyes anymore. I think they're just gonna get stuck. But here, there's actually a lot of actually good humor throughout the entire film. There's actually good heart. The acting is exactly what you would expect. It's not award winning, but it doesn't have to be. It is exactly what it needs to be for this film.
It's charming.
Yeah, it has its own little charms. It has its own little happy bits. And of course, it ends kind of.
Predictably.
Yeah. Though, I am actually kind of happy about one thing. And one thing that made me glad this movie finally saw the light of day. This film is a PG-13, obviously, film. But it doesn't feel like a PG-13 we get nowadays.
Like it's having to hold itself back.
Less in terms of holding itself back, but more in the fact that, like, any kind of film that ends up being a PG-13 or is a family film, it's actually usually a PG, or it happens to be a PG-13 just because of a little bit of, like, language. Here, there is quite a bit of actual violence that kind of happens. There is also quite a bit of actual language. Not saying that has to be there, but when the adults are needing to talk, they feel like adults. They don't feel like children, which is always...
And the script was written by a 12-year-old, unlike with... What was that one Marky Mark movie we saw last year or year before?
We were talking about last night. Mile 22.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
where
written
he's a
by
dick and everybody's dropping the F-bomb every other word, like, just for the sake of dropping the F-bombs, like...
I expect an entire sentence. Fuck you fucking fuck. It's like, guys, be a little bit more creative with your fucks. It's like, come on, you can add...
fuckers.
You can add them in the middle. You can go to the hotel, go fuck yourself.
Of course, you like him talking about the lines when he kills people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, jingle all the way to hell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like so cheesy. It's like...
So cheesy, you think it's cheddar. That's what she wants to marry off. Yeah.
It's too late to change my mind.
I think after this long, yeah. Yeah, I actually think that this movie did a lot actually well. It decided to, when it does harken back to the older family films, it never felt archaic, which is always a good idea. And on top of that, it never felt like this movie decided to hold itself back. It felt like it actually tried to push a little bit further than most family films do nowadays. Most family films nowadays are really, really PG. Like, they get that PG barely. Like, they are all but a G rating. You know, it's all but a G thing, you know? Thank you, it's Megan's seal of disapproval. She's gonna cry on me.
Thinking about it. Oh, what the hell am I married?
A pun master.
You wish.
Yeah, I was actually kind of happy that this is a film that it didn't feel like it had to, one, be held back in certain regards. Like, it was originally they made this an R rating, then they put this other stuff like, oh crap, this is actually more aimed towards kids. Oh, let's change the script up. It felt like it was constantly meant to be PG-13. It was constantly meant to be this kind of a film, and it wasn't even like heavy like editing they had to do or changing of different things or reshooting stuff.
And it wasn't like dumbed down.
Yeah.
Really or anything. It's like...
Yeah, it just was what it was.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it kind of harkened back to...
Harkins.
Yeah.
Harken. Harken.
There is a word, hirkin, I think. I'll look that up later.
Smelling smoke.
Fight me. But yes, it harkens back to, 90s sitcom, not sitcom, family movies like Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. It didn't have to be something that was explicitly for kids. And I think that's always the problem nowadays with family films, is too many of them are meant for kids. But it's like, oh, your parents might chuckle at one or two jokes. It's It's like when they aimed this towards families, it was aimed towards families.
And like, kindergarten cop, there's some drug dealing going on, drug using, and it's like it like kind of gets mature at some points, but it's mostly a family film, and it's like I said, it does not dumb it down, and this is how.
Oh, and if you hear what sounds like noisy neighbors upstairs, it's storming in Texas. Because it's Texas. Like, literally, we were starting to watch this movie, and we started hearing thunder, and I was like, oh,
Like,
weird.
I was like, I really hope people are not still celebrating 4th of July. I was like, in the middle of the day, too. So.
Yeah, because just let you know, shooting us in the middle of the day. Well, 6 o'clock at night, nearly.
6:30.
Pish pash. But yeah, I don't know what more I want to say about this. Not because it's not a ton to say. It's just after a while, we'll begin to spoil it, and really, I don't feel like I need to spoil it because in terms of plot, the movie's fine. Its plot runs just as smooth as it needs to be. Again, it's not super unique, but that's fine. I am okay with a not super unique plot as long as the end product still looks
Entertaining.
Yeah.
It does what it set out to do. Entertain.
Mm-hmm. So what about you? What else is there that you want to say about this?
Oh, also, good soundtrack. At least the choice of having Walk the Moon.
Oh, yeah, Megan just likes that Walk the Moon.
Well, also like some of the music as he's
pops
like
up.
trying to get away, like all the songs they were playing on the radio.
Oh, it's
999 Love Balloons.
Then a version of
I Will Survive.
Then a Russian version of I Will Survive. Then
A Russian version of My Heart Will Go On.
Though I'm just gonna throw it out there. All right, so the one thing that bothered me at the beginning of this movie, and it's not a huge spoiler, happens literally in the first 5 or 10 minutes. So they are doing this giant arms deal to try and get this bit of plutonium or whatnot. It's not. It's technically crucial to the plot, but it's not. It's kind of it's a minor plot key issue. They are dealing with Russians in Ukraine. It says Ukraine at the beginning. For crying out loud, guys. Do we not check this? Not only that, but they drive a Soviet truck. Where was this filmed? In 1993? What the hell? Hell, 1993, the Soviets were still dead. I don't know if Black Lives Matter has any way about it. Hey-oh, political joke. I was so baffled as somebody who does try to actually look into history, tries to actually understand a little bit about geography and other things. It was making my brain just go insane. I'm like, why are they speaking Russian in Ukraine? And they're making a big deal that it's Russia. They even said a couple times, it's Russia. With the big thing, Pripyat, Ukraine. Even though I think Pripyat is technically supposed to be in Russia. But it's the one of those, I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Why is it happening this way? You could just say Ukraine. Or why not just say it's in Russia? You did not have to have a thing that said Ukraine. It's just that one thing. If they had not had that, or just said somewhere in Russia, that would have been fine. Don't need to tell me where. I don't give a shit. It's not that important to the plot. But that one thing, I was like, God. But like I said, that's a nitpick on my part. I will fully admit that. It was just the one thing I was like, why? I can't. This is how I am.
It's okay.
So, anything else you want to say about My Spy?
Well, nothing that pertains to the movie, but pertains to Amazon Prime, but I ain't gonna go there.
Nah, she cancel your Amazon Prime feed, people. Amazon Prime gets my seal of disapproval.
You're beating that dead horse, ain't you?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm beating that horse till it quits whining.
Wow, that got dark.
Mm-hmm. I got about as dark as the night. The simile well dries up after a while, people. I ain't gonna do so much.
hell is wrong with you?
Plenty. Need some more water in my simile well. Oh, so, what would you give My Spy as like a final score?
Well, I don't think I can see anything actually wrong with it. This might be a little on the generous side, but I give it a perfect 10. I find nothing wrong with it.
I find enough issues with it. Bobby really was
Yeah, it's just kind of annoying, but thankfully she was not in the film that much.
Yeah, and I do have to knock it a little that it is not an original film in certain regards, just in the fact that it's at least unoriginal enough that I saw the ending coming a mile away. It is a very predictable film. Like, you can guess beat for beat what's going to happen throughout it. It's not like one of these movies like you're going to be so surprised, oh, this happened! And yeah, sure, not every movie is going to be, you know, a twist and turn, Inception-like film, but it's so predictable almost to the point to where it lost a lot of element of surprise for me. But I'm still going to at least be nice enough. I think I can give this an 8. It's not a fantastic movie. It is a movie, though, I think you can put on with your kids. You are going to enjoy it. Do I think you're going to want to watch it over and over again? Maybe. I'm fine with watching it, but I don't think I'm ever going to need to see this again. Mostly because that would mean
this would be on my wish list.
Mostly because this means I'd have to give money to Amazon. She's like, oh, yeah, I just realized that.
Well, you can get it for me on Blu-ray for my birthday, which is coming up.
And you'd have to still pay Amazon because they're the people who own the rights to the distribution.
Yeah, so you gotta sell your soul a little bit.
If I'm going to sell my soul, it's either going to be for a nice big piece of Elizabeth Hurley or it's at least going to be for some damn good cheesecake, alright? You were turning really red.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Keep telling you plenty. But hey, that's our review of My Spy. I might have a couple more reviews. I told y'all that last week, but I didn't. Unfortunately, just time got away from me. I might still be able to get another review or two for y'all. It just depends on how things go. There's one movie I could keep saying I need to watch and just keep forgetting. It happens. Might just go up and buy it because I saw it at Walmart the other day. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to buy it. Just give them money. It's like, here, filmmakers, I don't care if it was good or if it was terrible. It's like, here, you got some of my money. Be happy. But hey, that's our opinions on My Spy. Go check it out if you want to. And let us know if you liked it or if you hated it. I don't know why you would hate this. I mean, if you just, it's so unoriginal. Yeah, it's not very original, but it does it well. It's not like Dave Bautista talks like this. That would be awkward.
He actually can show a range of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's like being like this stoic soldier type, like.
He does actually have very funny things because he constantly seems to want to kill everybody. That one was...
It's like, kill her, make it look like an accident.
And also, like, at one point, we'll just do this. We'll strip gas leak in the building and we'll blow it up.
Like, Chris Shaw, like, what the fuck? It's like, pull the phone away from here, like...
And then another thing...
Okay, fine, we'll do it your way.
And another thing, like, she's texting, she goes, fuck.
Telling someone more, it's like, oh, had to eat this lizard, but that's okay because we were drinking our own urine by that point. Like, WTF? It's like, what?
Alright, that's funny. It's really that funny there. Yeah, so let us know and we can chit chat about it. Love to talk about it. So until then, we'll see what happens to cross the interwebs because Lord knows we still got to be afraid of the coof, you know. But we'll talk with y'all later with whatever the hell we happen to watch. So until then, we'll see y'all there. So bye-bye, everybody.